I want to finish up by playing an audio recording of a radio interview with her. We think it's in 1963. After my parents passed away, I found this cassette recording of the radio interview. And fortunately, the tape was still good, and I had it digitized at Scott's Photo in Rochester, New York. And I want to play 5 or 6 or 7 minutes of that. It's just fascinating just to hear her talk. She's not really going to say anything that I haven't already covered, but it's just fascinating to hear it in her own voice. So let me get this set up. Hmm. I'm playing this from another device. Let me get the Bluetooth set up.
This today is Blanche Stuart Scott, the first American woman to fly an airplane, and a woman
Is that coming across okay? Okay.
whose aviation history goes back as far as American aviation itself. Blanche, if we can call you that now.
And why not?
Why did you take up flying as a profession?
Well, that takes a little explanation. You see, I was an only child and spoiled brat. And probably, had I lived in this generation, I'd have been a delinquent or something because I was always looking for kicks. And when I was about 13, my family bought me a single-cylinder Cadillac. Remember them? They putted along. Oh, you couldn't remember them, of course not. Well, at any rate, I was living in Rochester then, which is my home, and my family have been here since 1810. But at any rate, uh, there were no license laws or anything of that sort then. And the city council called a meeting to try to prevent me driving it, but there was no way they could stop me. And I became very much interested in automobiles. So along about 1910, I made a deal with the Overland people. 5 or 6 men had driven from New York to San Francisco under most trying circumstances, and they told how they toiled and suffered and all this sort of thing and the troubles they had and the books they wrote afterwards. And I convinced the Overland people that that was no way to get people to buy automobiles. That I should get up some morning in New York and say, well, it's a very nice day. I think I'll take my Overland and drive to San Francisco. Well, they agreed with me, and so consequently, I started out on my trip, which, by the way, was beautifully managed and highly successful, and probably one of the first of those big promotion things at that time. Mm-hmm. We were in Dayton, Ohio, just before Decoration Day or Memorial Day, as they call it now. And there were mobs of people out around the right field. Oh, I would say at least 10,000 people. And so we stopped to see what was going on. And it was the first time in the history of aviation that two planes were up over the same field at the same time. One pilot was Wilbur Wright, and the other pilot was Al Welsh, the Wright's first student. Well, I sat and looked at them and thought how perfectly idiotic they were. They were absolutely insane. Anybody who did that was crazy in the loon. So we continued the automobile trip, and strange to say, had very, very little trouble. After we arrived in San Francisco, the company made the request that I drive down to San Diego, which I did. And on the way down, we came into Santa Ana, where we met Glenn Martin. And Glenn had a broken arm at the time, and he wore what I call woolen glasses, you know, the popular dark glasses, the dark rimmed glasses that men wear now. And he was a very serious young man. And The broken arm was the result of his experimenting with airplanes. Well, we thought it was very, very funny. And I say we, the newspaper woman who rode with me, she didn't drive. And we called him Bugs Martin. And I still thought it was the craziest thing in the world. Well, we went on to San Diego, and then over into Mexico, where we were entertained by Carranza, who was then governor of Sonora, at a bullfight in Tijuana. All they had in Tijuana at that time was the inn and the bull ring. Well, I came back to New York, and you must understand, as I said in the beginning, I was a very spoiled brat, very young, and very stupid about many things. And I'd had all this newspaper stuff, and no radio or television, but I'd had all this newspaper stuff, tremendous. Dougal, the press agent I had, nothing to do with me. And I got back to New York, and everything was dead. Nobody paid any attention to me, and I didn't like it at all. And I met Curtis's press agent, Frank Tipton. And he said to me, "How would you like to learn to fly?" And I said, "Well, I don't know. I hadn't thought anything about it." So to cut the thing short, 3 days later, the Curtis Company called me and asked me to come over to their office. And I went over and talked to them, walked out with a contract in my hand, go to Hemmelsport to learn to fly. And by the way, I was the only woman that Glenn Curtis ever taught to fly. I don't think he ever had the heart to teach another.
How much actual instruction in flying was there at the time?
Well, that's sort of problematical. Oh, I didn't say that right, did I? Well, it doesn't matter. You know what I mean. The planes, and you've seen pictures of them, you sat out in front of what we used to call the Undertaker's chair. Because if you did crack up, the motor always broke loose and smashed you in the back of the head, and that ended your career forever, not as an aviator, but just plain forever. And there was no way of someone taking you up and teaching you to fly. So they started in by cutting the governor on the plane, and we did what we call grass cutting, which is really, we didn't know any better, it's very dangerous. Then, of course, then we did a little hop. And I want to come to that hop because it's rather interesting. I think it was August 16th or 18th in 1910 that I made my first hop on the field. That is, from one end of the field, I took off and landed at the other end of the field. I never considered that a flight. You see, that was, to me, that was just a hop. And I don't think anyone up there at Hemmelsport thought of it in that respect. Well, my family were in Rochester, and I had some sickness, and I left Hemmelsport and went home because of the illness in my family, and I didn't come back until, I think about the 2nd of September. But I made 2 or 3 more hops, and then there were several of Mr. Curtis's flyers there at the time, and they were flying around, and I persuaded him to take the governor off the motor, and I thought, well, if they could let him go around, I don't see any reason why I shouldn't. And I did. So really, to make a real flight, what I considered a flight, was September 6th. And I'll tell you a funny thing. I was afraid to bank. You know what banking, I mean, by tipping. And I think I flew for about 6 months, sliding around on the air. Wasn't very healthy, but I didn't have brains enough to know it.
At the time, what kind of controls did you have on the airplane?
Well, we had this wheel, rather this stick that came up in front. Now the Wright planes had just a stick with a handle, but we had a wheel in front of us, like a wheel, say, on a yacht, upright, and in it were grooves, and in those grooves were cables that went back that controlled the rudder. And when you wanted to turn left, you just simply turned left as you would on an automobile, or when you wanted to turn right. When you wanted to take off, the stick, which was on a hinge at your feet, you pulled it back. And when you wanted to land, you brought it down. I was always scared of my life. I'd sneeze coming down because I sneezed just like a cat. You know, half a dozen sneezes. but then your foot control, your speed control, motor control, was on with one foot, like a throttle, the same as an automobile. It's rather interesting to know that Mr. Curtis invented the flaps. We call them now, they call them ailerons, and the rights warp their whole wing. And I've often thought how funny it would be to see a jet plane warping its wing. And in fact, Mr. Curtis was responsible for many things that we still continue. We use the wheel now on the plane. He invented three-point landing. Its rights were on skids. And he, by the way, is the father of the flying boat, which you probably know. And what else? He did something else that we still use. I can't remember right now. But there are half a dozen things that were his invention and are still used every day.
You were the first American woman to fly a plane. Who beat you out somewhere else in the world?
Oh, a French woman. By the way, I met her once, only once after that. And she flew about 2 weeks before I did. Of course, I promptly told her I hated her for it. And of course, one gets so little of things like that.
Now, who, in your opinion, was the outstanding pilot prior to World War I?
Oh, there's no question about it. Lincoln Beechey.
And why do you think so?
Well, Lincoln Beechey today would, if he had the planes we have, would be phenomenal.
Well, I hope that gives you a flavor. That's about 10 minutes of a 30-minute recording, but I hope it gives you a flavor of what she was like and her voice and attitude. So that's all I have planned. I'd be happy to take any questions or comments.
Thanks so much, Ken. I love that recording. You definitely
Yeah,
get
yes,
her personality.
yes.
I thoroughly enjoyed the tape. I had heard that she purposely took off the governor without Glenn knowing it, and that was a risky thing that she did. She was one heck of a woman.
Yes, yes.
I'm not sure how much everyone here knows about Ruth Law, but at least recalling the story of another female aviator that Glenn Curtis had interacted with before. She at least told Glenn Curtis she was going to fly from Chicago to, I believe, New York City, or I know she stopped in Hornell, though, during her flight. But she was doing a distance flight, like the winter. And Curtis said that she couldn't do it, but she did it anyway. So I'm sure it definitely tracks with Blanche Stuart Scott's experience of him, probably.
Yes, yes.
Ruth was the daughter of the first airport manager.
Oh, wow.
Oh, really?
She had quite a career in aviation, and interestingly, I'm hoping that we'll be able to memorialize her at the airport sometime soon.
Oh, it'd be wonderful. Are you talking about like the Rochester, the Frederick Douglass Airport?
Yes. I've been asked to lead up a team of people that will plan for the centennial event, which is not coming up real soon, but it'll be 2028. And one of the things I'd like to do is memorialize her and let people know a little bit more about her.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be really cool.
Yes.
Ken, I'm Maureen Whalen from the Greece Historical Society, and Blanche Stuart Scott was actually born in the town of Greece on her grandparents' farm, which was right on the Erie Canal. And I used to do a one-woman performance as Blanche Stuart Scott because the Greece Historical Society has a tape of her doing a couple hours being interviewed. And a lot of what you brought up was very familiar to me. And the thing about her age was she lied about her age all her life. And one of those famous things was that she went on The Tonight Show with Jack Parr.
Mm-hmm.
And Jack Parr trying to figure out how old she was, getting her to say what her age was. And she fended him off 2 or 3 times. And after he tried a 4th time, she just got fed up with him and walked off the stage.
Yes,
But you
yes.
are right. She was born in 1885. The other thing that she never let the truth get in the way of good story.
Right, right.
So, as you know, the fact that she kept telling everyone that she was driving a car around Rochester at the age of 13, well, that was if she lied about her age.
Right, right.
Right. She was probably, I think she was probably closer to 18 when she was driving around. Yeah, but fascinating woman, just
Yeah.
fascinating. And
It's
so it must have been
interesting that, yeah. Oh, go ahead.
so exciting to have actually met her.
Yes, yes. As I said, I was only 11 years old, and I don't think I fully appreciated the significance of it, but I do remember some of the evening, and having that picture of her and my mother, who was a private pilot, is just priceless. But on the birthday, I think it's wrong on the gravestone. It's
Yes,
wrong on her plaque in the National Women's Hall of Fame.
yes, yeah.
And and I have no idea why she'd be sensitive about that. It
It
seems inconsistent
just
with her personality.
right. Well, like when she took her cross country trip, everyone said she was an 18-year-old, but she wasn't. She was 25. But she
Hmm.
told everybody she was born in 1892.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
By the way, the account of her trip
Hmm.
is owned by the the Glenn Curtis Museum, and
Oh,
uh, and they lent it to us to get it digitized. So a digitized copy of it is available on the website of the Rochester Public Library.
okay. I'll have to look for that. I also need to visit the Glenn Curtis Museum. I haven't been there for years.
Feel free to come anytime. I'll show you. I'll give you a tour. We have her flight cap and a few other artifacts. I believe her gloves as well. And
Oh,
just
wow.
It's an awesome place. You'll really enjoy it.
I think so too. I think I was in middle school the last time I've been there, so I'm sure it's changed quite a bit. And
oh
I
yeah,
probably
absolutely.
should have gotten down there before I prepared the talk. At the time, it
Yeah.
just didn't work out.
Oh yeah, it's totally fine. Actually, we do. I don't know if Roger can hear me, but we do have one of our docents here, Roger Thompson. He's also met Blanche Stuart Scott, I believe.
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah, tell me about did what I talked about sound consistent with when you met her?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, yeah. So I met her through the Smithsonian. Um, or well, actually, no, I didn't. I I was talking to the curator about her because she passed away before I was working with the Smithsonian. So I didn't
Okay.
actually meet her.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the Smithsonian, of course, is has a lot of her history as well.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I I probably need to visit that also.
The Udvar-Hazy Center is where, so I am a docent at the Curtis Museum in the summer and the fall, and a docent at the Udvar-Hazy Center in the winter and the spring.
Okay. Fantastic. The history of aviation is just fascinating. Well, thank you.
Mhm.
Any other questions? As I said, I really appreciate the opportunity to give the talk. As I said, I gave it at the Susan B. Anthony Museum, but it's probably even more appropriate to give it to the Glenn Curtis Museum.
Ken, I've seen the display at the airport numerous times and didn't know a lot about her. So I was really pleased that you gave the presentation. It certainly helps me, particularly in light of the fact that I'm going to be working on this centennial.
Yes, yes. It I haven't seen it, but apparently the that model of her in the plane has been moved somewhere else in the airport. It's still on display somewhere, but not as prominent a location.
Last I saw it was the in the lower level at the east end of the west end of the building.
The lower level meaning where you pick up the luggage?
Right.
Okay, okay. That'll be easy to find. Um, but yeah, I'm disappointed that's not still in the main area.
I believe initially it was in the um, observatory where the food courts are, but
Yes.
when they uh, made that all secured, there was far less people that were going to be able to see it, so they probably moved it out of there so that more people could see it.
Yeah, yeah.
I was at the airport recently, and it's near what's being called the Frederick Douglass Observation Deck, which I think is on the second level. I'm not sure, but it's grounded. I mean, all the airplanes except for the Stoppelbeam Ohm Racer, which is hanging in the
Right.
diner, all of them have been grounded. The Chummy's on the ground, and the Curtis Pusher is on the ground now.
Okay.
And
But it's in an area that's not secure. Anyone can walk in and see it. Is that right?
yes,
Yeah.
right.
Okay. Good. Good.
And for what it's worth, I just want to give credit to where it's due. Vet Thomas, who's a member of Chapter EA, Chapter 44, built that Curtis Pusher individually
Oh,
by himself. Uh,
wow.
Not a Chapter 44 project. He did it on his own, and he's an excellent woodworker. He's now the restoration instructor of our Baby Ace restoration team that we're working on. So I just want to give that credit for that airplane. And the Finger Lakes 99s who did Blanche, and as you said, Marcia with the red sweater. The Finger Lakes 99s got the mannequin and did everything that was needed to get the rest of the uniform also. So it was a joint project between them and Vet Thomas.
Yes, my mother I didn't mention it tonight, but my mother had told me some of the other 99s made the rest of the
Hmm.
outfit.
Yeah.
And yeah, and I talked to Marcia as I was putting this talk together, and she gave me quite a bit of information. I hadn't talked to her for about 12 years, and I had her email address, and I thought, I don't even know how old she, if she's still alive, but I sent her an email and she responded within 2 minutes.
Uh,
She
are
lives in
she and
Florida
Dave
now.
still are she and Dave still flying?
I don't know. I doubt it. They're probably in their 90s.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And she's in Florida full time now. She's not in
Right.
Rochester anymore. So
She's given some presentations to Chapter 44 over the years about Blanche.
she put together a very nice video that I used to help prepare this also. Yeah.
Are there
She's
any books out there, biographies?
There's one. It's actually a children's book, but it has actually quite a bit of factual information in it that I used, and it was recommended by Marcia. I can't remember the name of the book.
It's called Tomboy of the Year.
Tomboy of the Year. Yeah. Who's the author's name?
Julie Cummings.
Yes, yes. And she has the birth date wrong in there.
Yes, yes, she does.
And matter of fact, she's got one birth year there and some journal article, another birth year.
Yeah.
Did Blanche have a family, or
She
was she
was
too young
married.
for a wife?
I have a couple. Let me see. I have a couple. She was married. Oh, here's my mother on the left and Marcia Gittleman on the right. If this is still on the screen at the gravesite. And she was married 3 times, and can you see this slide?
Yes, yes.
I was able to find the first two. I don't know who the third one was.
I don't believe they were actually married.
The third one, or
I think the third was what we'd call a partner. I don't think it
Okay.
was legal marriage.
Okay.
Because the Mount Hope Cemetery record, she's buried under the last name Henning. Her second husband.
Second husband. But she's buried in Riverside.
Yes, but the record for Riverside, her burial record is on the Mount Hope website.
Oh, is listed as Henning? Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
Thank you very much. This was very interesting. I learned a lot that I didn't know about her.
Yeah, same here.
You're very welcome, and it's just so fun to do research and prepare these talks. And I'm working on another talk now on not related to flying, but on Kate Gleason, of the Gleason Works family.
And the R&T dormitory.
Yes. And the College of Engineering is named
Yes,
after
that's
her.
true too. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
She's also buried in Riverside.
Yes. Yes, I was there taking pictures of her gravesite. Exactly. Any more questions? Or thank you for coming.
Oh, again, thank you.
Thank you, Ken.
Sure.
Going once on final questions before we finish out tonight. All righty.
I guess Maureen, I wish someone would write a definitive biography. There's the children's book, and there's apparently a unpublished autobiography that Marcia has that I haven't seen.
Yeah.
But there's never really been a biography.
No. It's so hard to verify anything about her.
Right. Exactly. As I said, when she said things, she was great at self-promotion. I suspect she liked to exaggerate and embellish. So even when you have information directly from her, you're not absolutely sure.
Yeah.
But she was definitely a remarkable person.
Yes.
And said she died the year after I met her. She died she broke her hip,
Right.
went into Genesee Hospital, and never recovered from that.
Yeah, she died of a pulmonary thrombosis.
Okay. And I was born in Genesee Hospital, which doesn't exist anymore.
Right.
Thanks so much for coming. That's all I have.
It was
Thanks
fun.
so much.
Thank you.
Thanks everyone for coming. Hope you all have a nice night tonight.
Yeah,
And hope you catch us for our next month. Our fall lecture series is focusing on women in aviation, and our next speaker is going to be a real life Rosie the Riveter. She's going to be talking about some of her experiences helping to rivet some of the P-40s. She may have worked on one of the P-40s in a museum, which is going to be very cool.
Okay. How does one sign up for the lecture series?
If you shoot me an email tomorrow, I'll put you on the list for that.
Okay. Okay.
Also check out our Facebook too. I'll also have a flyer up on that as well.
Okay.
Yeah. Everyone have a nice night.
Good night.
Thank you.
Good night.
Right.
Good night.
Good night.